Anastasia.
Me, myself, and I still pushing forward, I'm ahead like die. Standing on my flow with my head to the sky. Pass on a bitch, young rip, drop dimes. It's been a rough road, gotta look for the signs. I'm married to this music, so I cook for my bride. Flip out like a skateboarder, look how I grind. It took a long time, but I'm right on time. I'm progressing, that's progressive, I got bars like a correction. Still chasing petty cash, that's a mantis. I want extra, I stop searching for my pops. I hold my nuts just like a checkup. I get physical, I'm copping just like Interpol. I play on words like a syllable, to me the world is fading. Hold this L just like a Laker, like a birthday, my shit caking. It get messy like an apron, I pick out just like some bacon, and I sizzle like it too. Can't forget about you, boo, it feel like we on a loop. Same shit, different day, I don't know what's really true. I get high as I leave hoops, who gon' give me what I'm owed? Man, I guess nobody knew, and I know that money talks, so what it said is probably true. It's the feeling that I get, and the shit I'll probably do to get through or get by. I get fly, cause I'm Jeff Goldblum in my mind. Tell them hoes to fall in line. If you thought I fell off, bitch, I'm back like my spine. Hot as homemade pie, that's the pro rate, ma. I'm a pro, ain't I? Sniff it out like K9s. I'm a thief, it take time to be great, I'm Bayside. I get blue like Kelly Parker, when I'm gone I left a mark. Tell them fish I'm still a shark, I got will, I will embark on this journey till it's finished. In the midst of all this friction, I got vision on my P's like no limit. Like a mouse, now we clicking, I go out for the spinach, that's business.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove. I still think about the you that only exists in my brain. Nothing ever stays the same, guess it's just a shame. There's no one to blame.
Stop looking for somebody else to lay the blame. Without a wave of change, life stays the same. So when I pull up to your spot, I'm with a paradigm chick. Only used to have one and it's my paradigm ship. Cause for celebration, I cracked a hen. I took a hiatus, but I'm back again. A bunch of blue face hundreds, I've been stacking them. Cause in the game of life, I just have to win. So when I'm in go mode, I be ballin' insane. Tried to walk away, they was calling my name. My brothers from another, we are all in the game. Don't give a fuck about clout, nor all of the fame. I'm trying to inspire, empower, build and progress at a steady rate. Move heavyweight like a Bowflex. The haters make me greater, they mad, I got them so stressed. Shock my style for a while now, I can show text. Screenshots as proof and receipts. You a certified clown, been a goof in the streets. Angel made the beat, but this my demon flow. Get a lot of love from people I don't even know. And when the situation's ugly like Dudley, we do right. Fuck propaganda, let's conquer and unite. The wait's over, take over, it's commencing. My money fully grown, and yours like an infant. But that ain't no shade to you, it's just provision and protection, what you made to do. Being a man with a purpose, who you supposed to be. Living life as a loser, that's a joke to me. FN 509, stay close to me. If I pull it, I'ma spray like some potpourri. I don't wanna have to go there, so hopefully you don't try to have no beef or no smoke with me. Bro, everything I'm talking about, be backing it up. I'm back in the cuts, rapping the Dutch and Mac in the hut. She start to get aroused when I'm smacking her butt. Baby got stupid cheeks and she be clapping it up. I'ma enter through the front and hit the back of her guts. She a classy lady but be acting a slut. When we be kissing and cuddling, my bitch like to hug. Her box customized so it fit like a glove.
Be easy. Be easy. Be easy. Hey. 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 He always do it big. You know who it is. Be easy, be easy, be easy. That dude, he on his way to the top and he ain't about to stop. You thought he would flop and didn't wanna give him props. The things you dreaming about, he already did do. Now it's time to soak a game. He about to give you. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to tune in when he goes live. Make a contribution if you feeling the content. Tap into the realness if you tired of the nonsense. I mean, no disrespect, ain't trying to sound rude, but the world already knows that B-Eazy's that dude. Ooh. Hey. 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 Hey.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude and Impromptu stream back with another one. This one is gonna be a banger. Informative, so it will be a doozy. Now look, it's late night. I'm on the West Coast. I got a lot of people on the East Coast. So I don't like to keep y'all waiting. Before we get this thing started, you know, I gotta hit you.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民。と言っても自分の世代です。もう友達できたの？うん。ぶっとこっち見ろ。
Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad. And we are activated. Salute to the people, and they already coming in hot. Been joined by an illustrious guest, Timeless T8V in building. Salute. This goes hard. Yeah, that's all me right there. You know what I mean? So we gonna get right into this thing. Y'all seen the title. Y'all seen the thumbnail. So let me just switch this banner up real quick. So what we're going to be discussing this evening is the brain dead, buck broken, boule bozos that are acting as the overseers of the Black community, leading the Black community astray, misleading the community. And this is supposed to be the educated class, but really they're the indoctrinated, buck-broken class who are the token minions, the token puppets who bend over and willingly, voluntarily buck break themselves in order to sell out the collective. So I'm going to react to this video from this channel. It's called the Native Land Pod. And the people on these pods are all corporate shills, Democrat shills, and establishment tools. This podcast is funded, promulgated, and promoted by iHeartRadio. So that's as establishment as it gets. All of these people have had their scandals, mishaps, and follies. So this is a collection of political kooky stooges and misfits. Tiffany Cross was on here, but now it's just Angela Rye, Andrew Bussy Wide Open Gillum, and Bakari Sellout Sellers. So we're going to get into this video. If you want to watch the video uninterrupted, you can go to the Native Land Pod, which the name, I don't know, the name just doesn't really do it for me, but okay. So I will have to stop, pause, fast forward, rewind in order to make the video transformative. Fair use, fair use. I don't want them to try to hit me with some sort of copyright strike. So I will be giving my commentary. So let's get right into it. This video is about 53 minutes long. I'm not going to react to the full video. So I've fast forwarded. It started about 17 minutes in so we can discuss, because, you know, the Democrat shills, they always want to talk about vote blue no matter who. They never say what you're going to get for your vote. It's just be the bigger person, right? Be more mature and vote without tangibles. Other groups, they say, sure, we'll lay out specific and targeted tangibles for your racial or ethnic group. But with Black people, it's just supposed to be vote blue no matter who. Now, many of us have made the political calculation or are exercising what some would say pragmatism and say, hey, I'm voting for harm reduction. Yeah, we know the Democrats ain't ish, but the Republicans hate us, you know. And they think that because the Democrats do some forms of symbolic gestures and tokenism that, hey, they don't like us, but the Republicans call you a nigger to your face and the Democrats call you a nigger behind your back. And then they have beers with the same Republicans who you said were racist. They're racist, right? Mitch McConnell, Scott Jennings, Ted Cruz, just name a person, right? All of them have Democratic friends, right? When they get on these panels together, they yuck it up. They pretend as if they're fighting with each other, but they always say that they're friends and we're trying to reach across the other side of the aisle. If someone across the other side of the aisle is a genocidal maniac or a pedo sympathizer or a racist, disgusting bigot, what am I reaching across the other side of the aisle for? So when you hear people talk about that, but they don't specifically get into the weeds and the nuances of tangibles, right? All of these people, the billionaires, the oligarchs, the plutocrats, they operate by quid pro quo. If you don't give me something that I'm asking, demanding, and or requesting, then I'm not voting for you. And I'm not simply not going to vote for you. I'm going to fund your opposition. Even if I don't like your opposition, it's a power play and it's the messiness and the minutia of politics, right? But many of these boule, buck broken, bozo overseers, their whole job is to tell Black people, put your head in the sand and vote blue no matter who. And then you got the other conservatives who say, y'all niggas cooked, get off the Democrat plantation. And then what, come to the Republican plantation? The conservatives will point over at the Democrats and say, y'all are dumb because y'all on the Democrat plantation. But then you got people like Byron Donalds, as much as he is tap dancing, the Republicans in Miami is saying that people like Byron Donalds are niggers and they want to see TND, total nigger destruction, right? And I just substituted the word, but what they really want to see is total nigger unaliving. This is what the explicit people of color, Latino Republicans had to say about Black people, right? So when people say, get off the Democrat plantation, like, how about we just leave plantations alone, period, right? Or if we do have a plantation, how about we have our own plantation that's not beholden to the right or left, the red or the blue, right? Because you say that you're voting for harm reduction, but how? Both parties support open borders. Both parties support the war. Both parties support disenfranchising foundational Black Americans, right? What are the Democrats doing about the history being ripped out of the schools? What are they doing about uh, um, Erica Kirk going around trying to put TPUSA and PragerU type teaching in the schools? What are the Democrats doing about it? All they're saying is Orange Man bad. Don't forget about immigrants. This is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants and trans people. That's all the Democrats have to say. ICE is so bad. ICE out there, the Gestapo. Immigrants built the nation, and immigrants are the best thing ever known to human existence. And don't forget about the trans people. That's all the Democrats are running on.
Having not even done the deed. But this is a good one for Kay Ivey. She did say that she did this to preserve the future of the death penalty in that state.
Scribe is how 4 million people.
So I muted it so I can skip the advertisement. So now they're going to go and pivot into talking about voting, right? And the title of this video is called 236 Days to Save Democracy, right? Featuring Jamel Mammy Hill, right? Jamel Democratic Shill Hill, okay, right? Why are they always up to saying for Black people to save democracy? On one hand, they'll say you guys are 13% of the population, which those numbers are fudged and purposely underaccounted. Like for hundreds and hundreds of years, 13%. Like literally just check the decades. Like 100 years ago, they said it was 13%. Then 100 years after that, 13%. 100 years after that, 13%. So either the numbers are lying and then they'll blame it on abortions and stuff, which is a factor, but it's not that many abortions going on. So there's a purposeful undercounting. And then there's also been a strategic targeting and curtailing of melanated immigrants who can pass for being so-called Black, right? So, these people are just acting like here voting is going to be your panacea and save you. But let's get into the video though.
Hey, Andrew, as you know, as a former elected official, it is up to the states. They have to decide individually what the law will be, and that is up to the legislatures. Why it's so important for us to vote. And I know you have something on this, the Georgia special election.
Yeah, so there was an election this week, y'all. Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat down in Georgia, in the most Republican seat in the entire.
So also what I want to say is all these other groups are considered to be high IQs and model minorities. Why aren't they tasked to save democracy, right? They're smarter and have a superior culture. Okay, fine. Go save democracy then. They say that we're the powerless group. We have no power. You guys have no culture. You're degenerate and debaucherous, right? So why are y'all looking for us to save democracy again? Where are the Lily W's, the lunatic liberals, the MAGA morons? Shouldn't they save democracy? So they throw out this word democracy. And I think it was, I got to look up the scholar that talked about how democracy can be weaponized, and I'm paraphrasing, but democracy can be weaponized and be used as a form of tyranny, is what I would like to call a buzzword and bumper sticker in many instances. And it looks like we've been joined by Roger Meadows. Damn, Roger Meadows, what you doing up this late, bruh? Yes, vote for ballot measures. Well, Roger, I'm not going to entertain too many of your ballot measure comments until I get enough subs for you to come on and talk about ballot measures. But salute to Roger Meadows. I will dedicate a show to talk about the power, the efficacy of ballot measures and ballot initiatives. How has voting red worked out for our people this year and in 2016 will see I am politically unaffiliated. I am politically independent. So I'm not advocating for voting red and I'm not advocating for voting blue. I'm advocating for voting black. I am B1. So the politicians need to put forth specific intangible legislations that not only uplifts, enriches, and enfranchises my community, but the collective of the country, right? Because as much as I am B1, I'm America first. I want to see my country thrive and flourish, but not at the expense of my community. So I'm not caping for political parties or politicians. I will vote Libertarian. I will vote Green Party. I will vote Republican. I will vote Democrat based on policy. If they're not putting forth tangible policies, then I need to abstain from voting, possibly federally, and I need to find alternate means to uplift my community. Voting is not a panacea. It could be a tool, it could be a strategy, but it's not an end all be all. And in most instances, it's not always a solution to your problems. It's usually a symbolic practice and a civic gesture, unless you're voting locally. And like Roger loves to talk about, unless you're organizing, what I say, organize, mobilize, and strategize to run ballot initiatives, then your vote becomes crucial and imperative. But most of the times in the federal election, all that stuff that that Trump is allegedly doing, most of the times it has no bearing on what you're doing. So when people are looking at what ICE is doing in Minnesota, that's not happening in your local town, but because you watch it over and over on playback on various news outlets and social media, you think that it's a kitchen table for you and ice out. Like, dude, you're a NIMBY. You live in a neighborhood that refused to have any immigrants over there. So there's no illegal immigrants in your neighborhood. There's no ICE officers or border patrol patrolling your neighborhood. They're patrolling the neighborhoods where they were dumped at, which are going to be predominantly black neighborhoods. So king on deck, voting red hasn't helped our people and voting blue hasn't helped our people. I haven't been voting Democrats, but many in our community have been voting Democrat for decade after decade. And guess what? They've said, you guys are the backbone. Oops, let us flood the border with millions and millions of Hispanic and some Asian immigrants. You think they did that because they just love Hispanics and Asians? Do you think they did that because they love you? Imagine you're at a company and they say, hey, you're the backbone of this company, but then they just bring in a bunch of employees that you have to train, and then suddenly you train someone to have a higher position than you that just got here and can barely speak English. Oops, you can't say that. That's xenophobic. We don't have an official language, so it doesn't care if they speak broken English or anything like that. You can't discriminate. Now, they've already displaced and discriminated against you, but hey, and this is what I call immigrant exceptionalism. You're supposed to bow down, bend the knee, and lick the boot of an immigrant that just got here because they were seeking asylum. But you can't seek asylum because you're a citizen. Shut up, figure it out. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Somebody can come from 1,000 miles away and say, there was a gang that was oppressing me. The gang looked just like me, the same race, the same ethnicity, but because they were oppressing me, I should be entitled to come to the US because no one's illegal on stolen land and be resettled here as a refugee where I'm given resources that are denied to the native population. And you guys are not supposed to say anything about it because that's xenophobic. Both parties support this for various reasons. The reason why they both support it is because they always dump them in black neighborhoods. So they like, fine, let them displace them niggas. We don't care. Another reason why both parties support it is because Chuck Schumer, Jerry Nadler, they've said this out loud. White birth rates are not at replacement levels. Other groups are having births, but they've kind of stagnated out. So guess who will pop out a baby. Guess who has more of an incentive to have a baby than American citizens? People who came here illegally, people who are undocumented. Because if you're undocumented, if you have 2 or 3 kids, you've secured a future in this country because your kids are going to be citizens, and people are going to say, you don't want to separate families. How could you? You're like the Gestapo. They're just trying to work. Who's going to pick the fruit? And when they had 3 or 4 kids, do you think they had those kids to be American citizens? You think that they came over here to what they would call drop an anchor baby? You think these people came to have anchor babies so that their kids are anchored in farm agricultural skills? It's quite idiotic. Who's going to clean your house? You're just going to keep flooding the border with more desperate, undocumented, illegal alien status people. Because as the people get assimilated into American culture, they become more educated. They drop oftentimes their language, at least as their first language, and they say, look, I'm just as American as someone who's been here since the inception of this country. And to prove that, I'll be anti-black, because anti-blackness is as American as apple pie. And many of these people sign up for it until they say the great replacement theory. If there was a great replacement theory, which is real, and it's not a theory, it's a strategy. But who are they trying to replace and displace? It's not white people. They're bringing the immigrants over here to fold them over into whiteness. Just like when Italians came over here, they weren't white until they were. Irish people weren't white until they were. There's no race called Hispanic. There's no race called Latino. So many of these lightened and brightened Latinos that they bring over here will be able to be assimilated into whiteness. So when Elon says we need more white babies, guess how they'll get them? By immigrants coming over here, dropping anchor babies who will be white U.S. citizens. They're Hispanic. Yeah, white Hispanics, white Latinos who are going to drop speaking Spanish, or Spanish will be the second language. So that will keep the white majority. And then they'll keep saying that line, this is a white Christian nation. How? They're manufacturing it to be an alleged white nation. This is why they bring people over. Right now, Palestinians are legally, racially, socially classified as white. Egyptians classified as white. Jillian Michaels, who loves to say, I'm Syrian and Arab. There's no race called Syrian. There's no race called Arab. Jillian Michaels is considered white. Anna Conspirian, Armenian, guess what that's considered? White. So I don't know why people are pretending. Mexicans fought. They have sayings, mejoró la raza, blancamiento. They've legally fought in court to be classified as white, which is why both parties don't mind flooding the country with millions and millions of Hispanic, who many of them will be folded into whiteness. Let's commence.
Delegation from the state of Georgia. And there were some positive, I think, outcomes. We'll see what happens over the long run. But take a look at who the 2 finalists are and what was a very crowded field.
Democrat Sean Harris finished as the top vote getter with 37% of the vote, while Republican Clay Fuller came in second with 34%.
Well, I think you see with the results tonight, the voters support what President Trump is doing and endorsing our campaign. And I think the Republican Party is going to unite around us because they know that the Democrat is too dangerous. We can't have a Democrat representing Georgia 14. It'd be a tragedy for our community.
I think what you're going to see here real soon is people going to say, what I'm going to put beside this time party. I'm going to vote with what's best for my kids and grandkids. And that's why I have nothing but confidence tonight. And I have confidence tomorrow and the day after that.
But the only thing that the Democrats seem to have that they say is good for you and your grandkids is that immigration. That's why every other day, this is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. Immigrants make the country better. Immigrants do everything. Immigrants have a superior culture. Immigrants are the model minorities. Immigrants, right? So then they try to say that, hey, look, You know, you love tacos, right? So we're going to bring an immigrant over here and give him a loan to set up a taco shop in your neighborhood. It's like, nah, I could cook my own tacos. Give me that loan and I'll set up shop right here. No, we can't do that. Why? Well, you're a native citizen and you're a foundational Black American. You're not an immigrant. You're not a refugee that we can resettle. You know, you're not a asylum seeker, right? But I'm a citizen. No, these resources are for non-citizens. It happens every day. Look, in most major cities, they have something called an Office of New Americans. Okay, what is a new American? I'm being facetious, but don't take my word for it. Look it up. And nowhere in the office for new Americans are they talking about pull yourself up by your bootstrap. They're telling these people. So when they try to say, hey, well, maybe if you present an agenda to your politicians, then maybe they will act on that agenda. Look up what I'm telling you. The Office of New Americans, any of these refugee and resettlement programs, and they're telling these people what they need. Hey, look, you have babies, so you will need childcare. Don't worry, we'll provide that for you. And yeah, you could say it's not happening with everyone, but it's happening with too many in a significant amount. And then the way they hide it is they have a lot of NGOs to say, hey, these were just these philanthropist people, and you can't tell them what they're doing with their money, right? But no one ever thinks about why are these NGOs so eager to dole out millions and millions to non-citizens? No one ever asked that. Why no one ever asked how there'll be non-Black, mainly white people who have no history of uplifting Black people, of collaborating with Black people, but somehow they always fly across the globe and adopt an African or Haitian or Caribbean child. There's many Black Americans that they can adopt here. No, I have to go get an African child with flies in front of their face to say, oh, look, I pulled this kid from poverty. There's a bunch of impoverished kids here. So, but yeah, so one thing you'll see is the growing narrative where people be saying, vote. Your ancestors died for you to vote. Your ancestors didn't die for you to vote for nothing, right? You're supposed to vote to get something out of it. Don't just vote as a cultural practice and what I call symbolic tokenist gestures, right? I voted, your ancestor got lynched, so go out there and vote blue no matter who because they lynched the nigga on Sunday. Like, the shit don't even make sense. No, vote because someone is putting forth something that's going to enrich and empower your community. If they don't got nothing for you, then I don't got nothing for them, right? And then they say, oh man, you dumb for just throwing your vote away. No, the politician is dumb for allowing these potential voters to abstain, to defect, right? Many people would be willing to vote. The reason why they're dejected is because it's something called diseases of despair. They're so distraught. They're living life in despair that they're like, man, you know what? Voting ain't gonna change nothing. People have been Bible thumping, constitutional thumping since you was knee high to a tadpole. And guess what? What has really changed? People were voting when it was a crime bill. And guess what? They still dropped crack in your neighborhood. People was voting, and then guess what? They locked a bunch of niggas up because niggas voted for it. Right? And then did you vote your way out of it? Niggas voted for 3 strikes, right? Was that cool? Right? So it's a lot of toxic stuff that you voted, but people don't talk about the things that you voted for that was detrimental to your community. Just vote because your ancestors died for it. That ain't what my ancestors died for it, right? They weren't getting lynched and said, on my last breath, make sure you vote. That ain't what happened, bruh.
That more and more Democrats and Republicans and independents are going to come my way.
So Sean Harris there achieved actually the majority of votes that were cast in that special. We could all pontificate about what that looks like in the final in May.
And salute to Big Rig Slaps in the building.
expect that seat will remain with Republicans. But y'all, it is of note that Sean outperformed how Kamala Harris did in that very same district. She achieved 31% of the vote. He achieved 36% of the vote. And so even if that seat doesn't come the way of Democrats, that just gives you a light in.
Yeah, some people are starting to see it because people have been skating by with the whole model minority and, them niggas is lazy. Y'all work so much harder. But now it's going to be awfully hard for them to get off that lie. Who's going to pick the fruit? It ain't going to be those immigrants crossing the border. Many of them are not coming over here to pick fruit. And if they do, it's just a transition period. It's a means to an end, which is why they need to keep flooding the border and saying that, like no one else will do it. Yeah, even the immigrants who can barely speak English, even they don't want to do a lot of those jobs. That's not what they came here for. When you put a mic in front of them, what oftentimes do you hear? They just came to seek a better life. They don't say that they came here to pick the fruit or they came here to be nannies. They came here to seek a better life. Seeking a better life doesn't always picking fruit. They have machines out there that can pick fruit faster than the 10 fastest undocumented immigrants, right? Just as well as they have AI with technology that are replacing jobs. Many of those farm and construction jobs are being replaced and will be replaced in the future as well. So then it becomes, okay, so why do they have so many millions and millions of immigrants over? And you see that it's not because they work hard. There's another sinister agenda at play. Let's get into it.
Inlet into how Democrats are overperforming so far in these special elections. That trend continues.
Well, as you just noted, Andrew, the race and midterms are in full effect, but it's not without an intense redistricting battle. Up next is Virginia, with the map already approved by the General Assembly. That map would have 10 seats that lean Democratic. Early voting has begun in Virginia, and so have the shenanigans. As we get into our longer length topic, the response from the GOP was insane. They sent out a civil rights-based mailer. And we have this clip from a social media influencer. I believe her name is Suzanne Lambert, who had this to say about the mailer.
I was getting ready to go to the gym, which is why I look like a young Justin Bieber, but a follower sent me this message about a very mysterious mailer that they received yesterday. There's a special election in Virginia right now through April about redistricting, which we want to vote yes on. The top line message, we want to vote yes. So what does this say? You'll notice it says, just like Jim Crow, they want to take away your voice. And you're seeing a lot of civil rights era images, presumably, of Black people. Okay, that's important. Black people. Because what else does it say? It says, our ancestors fought to represent us. Our ancestors. So one could safely assume, if you're looking at this flyer, given that it only depicts Black people, that the person sending it is a Black person, right? Or at the very, very least, has the interest of Black folks in mind. Which of course makes no sense because voting yes on this measure would actually protect the interests of Black people. And no Black officials would lose their seat from the redistricting measures. It would only be white people. Every mailer has to include who paid for it, right? So it says here, paid for by Democracy and Justice PAC. Only problem with that, Democracy and Justice PAC doesn't exist. Like straight up, does not exist. But Justice for Democracy PAC does exist, and its treasurer is listed as Christopher Woodfin. Address is the same. Well, what do we know about Christopher Woodfin? One, we know that he has only ever donated to Republican politicians, ever. And two, that he is most certainly not Black. So when he says our ancestors and our rights, who exactly the is he talking about? Well, we also know about Democracy for Justice PAC is that it was created 4 days ago and only has one large contribution.
Are we shocked though? But damn, like, bro, look, I like to eat too, but Brody, lay off the burgers. So look at this dude right here, right? So this dude in the back, this Woodfin character, is going around sending out mailers talking about this is going to be like Jim Crow. Why do all these people, it's funny that they tell us get over slavery, but every time you look at all of these bigoted sites, they keep talking about slavery. We was kings, y'all was slaves and all this other type of shit. We conquered you. Okay, fine. What did you do when you conquered people? Oh, we enslaved people. So how are you bragging about something that you're telling people to stop talking about? These people are the ones bringing up Jim Crow, telling you to stop talking about it, right? But this is what I'm saying. People, they always try to use black people's pain and plight to advance the agenda of other groups, to extract resources based on what we went through. And that's why many people, when they see a lot of these immigrants, that's why they're trying to get the black community out there so we can legitimize the struggle. See, look, black people out there, plus we're going to be targeted, right? And the imagery of us getting beaten and brutalized, that will galvanize the nation to be the political fuel to drive what, a democratic agenda. So what they like to do is, look, black people are oppressed. Black people went through Jim Crow, debt peonage, sharecropping, mass incarceration, enslavement, chattel slavery, hundreds of years of Jim Crow, black codes, redlining. And you know how we'll repair and give justice to the black community? By bringing a bunch of non-black immigrants over here. That's how we'll help you. Like, huh? Black people, we know that you've been lynched. So that the way that we'll help the black community who's been lynched, we'll give you guys the option of having trans bathrooms. Surely that will help the community, right?
The is he talking about? Well, we also know about Democracy for Justice PAC. They want to take away your voice. And you're seeing a lot of civil rights era images, presumably, of black people. Okay, that's important. Black people. Because what else does it say? It says, our ancestors fought to represent us. Our ancestors. So one could safely assume, if you're looking at this flyer, given that it only depicts black people, that the person sending it is a black person, right? Or at the very, very least, has the interest of black folks in mind, which of course makes no sense because voting yes on this measure would actually protect the interests of black people. And no black officials would lose their seat from the redistricting measures. It would only be white people. Every mailer has to include who paid for it, right? So it says here, paid for by Democracy and Justice PAC. Only problem with that, Democracy and Justice PAC doesn't exist. Like straight up, does not exist. But Justice for Democracy PAC does exist, and its treasurer is listed as Christopher Woodfin. Address is the same. Well, what do we know about Christopher Woodfin? One, we know that he has only ever donated to Republican politicians, ever. And two, that he is most certainly not black. So when he says our ancestors and our rights, who exactly the is he talking about? Well, we also know about Democracy for Justice PAC is that it was created 4 days ago and only has one large contribution from a major Republican. Now the question is, did they purposely put the wrong name on the mailer?
Can we stop, please?
To go look it up.
There's a lot in that. Boy, I tell you, there is a lot.
There was a lot. There was a lot.
Literally a lot. Because for the people who are listening and not watching, Angela, explain your messiness right now. For the people who are listening.
I just want to apologize. I want to apologize to our viewing audience, our listening audience that may be overweight. Because I just this is getting worse. Bakari, why did you have me explain it?
Because you couldn't fix your face. See, I was trying to hide mine. And Angela, she just like
it shocked me. I didn't see that part of the video.
Like, I had no idea.
No, I didn't.
Like I said, this is the brain dead, buck broken bozo boule. What the hell are they laughing at? No, seriously, what was so funny?
Have any idea? This man has no neck. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I was really like, oh my God, that's AI. Wait, is that AI? Anyway, here's the point, guys. Let's get focused. They shit.
Thank you.
It's sort of how Trump wants Greenland because it looks so big on the map. Greenland is not to scale. I assume that this
maybe
is not
he's not to scale. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You think it was like...
Okay, so mind you, iHeartRadio is paying them for this, right? This is the buck broken black miss leadership class. So you're supposed to look and say, oh, look, we put some attractive women and you can't go at them because you're going at the sister girls and your mama is black and you hate black women. Then they got these stooges on here And then if you go at them, see, we quick to tear each other down, man. You doing the white man's work and all this other type of stuff. No, these dudes are worse. They are selling out the community, and they're bending over, buck dancing for the same establishment that they're purporting to be against. This is rather pathetic.
Okay.
The picture.
I can't even remember what we were talking. We were talking about redistricting. Okay,
Yes.
so
Voter
there's another. That's which is very important. Yes, Bakari.
Vote yes.
Vote yes.
Yes,
So-
they said. Queen Gayleen from Virginia says we are telling people don't guess, vote yes. So, they are trying to meet the energy of Texas, North Carolina, and Ohio, and trying to make sure that there is more representation in Congress to knock out all of what they tried to do with midterm redistricting. What I think is really crazy about this mailer, y'all, is
I get what they saying about representation in Congress, but the whole representation sentiment is usually overblown, because when they say representation, they'll say, oh, look, there's a melanated face, so look, that represents you. Like, this person represents the interests of Israel and plutocrats and their donors, but hey, look, they have the same skin pigment as you, so you're supposed to perceive that as them representing you. Barack Obama, who is a biracial person, nothing wrong with being biracial, it's a beautiful thing to be a human being of any color, creed, or race, but he called himself biracial. His wife called himself biracial, but now you have to act like he's the most blackety black thing ever known to man. You can't call him what he is, a Kenyan American. You know what I mean? So we're supposed to just say, oh, he represents you. You know, you have a descendant from some distant generic land in Africa that you don't know about and never been. And he's Kenyan and he's African. So that means he's representing you. Huh? Obama, yeah, you're darker than him, but at least, you know, you guys have a little bit of melanin, so that's representing you. So when people talk about representation, what type of representation are we really talking about? Do you want a woman to get to Congress and say, oh, look, we never seen a woman, or we never seen a white, black, or Chinese, or whatever type of woman get to Congress? And you think that that woman automatically represents you just because they share some sort of attributes as you? No, they are a representative of you if they are upholding and pushing forward your interests and your agenda. If they're not doing that, they're not a representation. They're a mascot and a symbolic token and a strategic tool of the establishment. If they work for the establishment and the plutocrats, the people who are paying them, the people who are putting a battery in their back, they're not working for you. They don't give a fig about you. However, they are giving you the illusion of inclusion, right? Here, it's a big club and you ain't in it. They're not even in the club, but they're trying to get in the club that they'll never have access to. But they believe by selling you out that gets them closer access. And it does. It gets them a closer denial, right? They get closer to the door that says, nope, your check didn't clear, your ID didn't clear, your credentials didn't clear, but they still get to be an overseer of you. They get to get some butter biscuits and then tell you, hey, you should be satisfied with the crumbs of butter biscuits, right? So that's what you're dealing with this political, you know, chicanery is what we'll call it.
They are trying to meet the energy of Texas, North Carolina, and Ohio, and trying to make sure that there is more representation in Congress to knock out all of what they tried to do with midterm redistricting. What I think is really crazy about this mailer, y'all, is it literally has hopefully we can pull the images up. I know I sent them too. Just like Jim Crow, they want to silence your voice. And then this black man.
Okay, great.
Okay, so this is an ad, so just give me 1 second. Oh, damn, it got fast forwarded. Hold on. But yeah, I know y'all seen that ad where it was talking about Jim Crow. Hold on. Here it goes. Okay, so the same people that are telling you to get over Jim Crow, they're using it as a political football. And mind you, this is a non-black person, a portly white dude doing this. Just like Jim Crow, bro, is your community who were perpetuating Jim Crow. And then they'll tell you how bad Jim Crow was, and that, yeah, Jim Crow was bad, and yeah, we were treating those niggers bad, but we shouldn't give them anything. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? And then when you look at the immigrants and say, okay, fine, we went through Jim Crow, y'all was lynching people, y'all was shooting people, there were race massacres, right? There's no immigrant massacres right now. We were told to get over it. Yeah, there was Ocoee, Florida, Wilmington, North Carolina. It wasn't just Tulsa. When they say Black Wall Streets, they say street as singular, but it was plural, right? Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, so on and so forth, right? Angry white mobs going through terrorizing black people. And we're told just get over it. None of that stuff is happening to immigrants, but somehow they want to equate it to Jim Crow. ICE is like the Gestapo. No, they're not. And guess who the Gestapo learned from? Americans. So even if they were like the Gestapo, I mean, it would be befitting because the Gestapo was influenced and trained by Americans.
Responsible for this mailer. So I think that it's fascinating. Our ancestors fought to represent us. That's right. The people who have this mailer out are the descendants of the 1776ers. We, however, are the descendants of 1619, and it's not our ancestors. Our ancestors' wildest dreams would be that we could vote and we would be represented in the House, among other places. I want to roll this clip for you all to react to.
No. Does anyone think that that's what your ancestors' wildest dream would be? Your ancestors who were promised 40 acres and a mule, and you think their wildest dream would be for you to vote for a politician who's not going to do anything for you? Yeah, they died for that. Does anyone? And it's extremely offensive to your ancestors who fought, bled, and died to protect this country. Even though the country wasn't living up to the standards and the values that it purported to the globe, we said, you know what, we're going to hold you accountable to those standards. That's why we are foundational Black Americans. And here you got Angela Rye over here saying it's the wildest dream of your ancestors to be able to vote. No, it's not. And fine, let's just say it was. What exactly are you voting for? We ain't gonna give you shit, but just vote for us because you're making your ancestors proud. Which ancestor? You're making Harriet Tubman proud by voting. Nah. Is this what Frederick Douglass would say? Like, hey, they don't need to give y'all nothing. Just goes out there and be's a good old Negro and vote. Vote for those good old white folks. Is that what they would say to you? Hey, I got it. Angela.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. His name is Don Scott, and he had this reaction to this crazy mailer, which I think we need to highlight.
Now, look, folks, when I see people sending mailers, using images from the civil rights movement, brave men and women facing down the KKK, people who marched, who bled, who died for the right to vote, to try to trick Black voters in Virginia, I take that very personally. The civil rights movement is not a prop. And for them to do that and then to try to bring in another Black man after the fact to say that he was involved with it when we know for a fact that was not the case. They brought him in after the fact. The blood and sacrifice of those who fought for the right to vote belongs to all of us, and it will not be hijacked by anonymous, MAGA-aligned political operatives trying to deceive our communities. And let's be clear about what's really happening here. Donald Trump put us all in this position. Donald Trump and Republican legislatures across the country are trying to rig the midterm elections because they know their policies are so unpopular, no one in their right mind would continue to support them.
So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Man. I gotta hit him.
Ho, please.
Nigga, please.
hope. Nigga, what?
Nigga.
Nigga, please. Nigga, please. What?
This dude went on this incoherent tirade saying, oh, yeah, the Republicans are trying to rig the election because they don't want to lose. Well, actually, a lot of those Latinos did want to vote for Trump. Harry Enton, who was supposed to be like some guru of the polls, he talked about on CNN how as much as the Democrats should be winning on the immigration issue, Republicans allegedly are still trusted more to secure the border. So there's many Latinos that are still saying, I will vote for Donald Trump. There's a Latina where her son was unalived in ICE custody, allegedly. They put a mic in front of her face, and guess what she said? I do not regret my vote for Donald Trump. So they're trying to frame this as if everyone hates what Trump is doing. I think Trump and Biden are stumbling, bumbling buffoons and idiots. But many people despise what Trump is doing, and there are large swaths of people that love what Trump is doing. I guess it just all depends on what region you're in, what state you're in. But not everyone thinks that what Trump is doing is so bad. Many people are salivating, foaming at the mouth with glee, i.e. Lindsey Graham, that Trump took us into another endless war with Iran at the behest of Israel. Is this the United States of America or Israel? I really can't tell. But this is what these people like to do. So the black dude that they just played, he's supposed to be standing up like for black people, saying that, hey, Jim Crow is not a prop. But the Democrats use Jim Crow as a prop all the time, saying that this is like Jim Crow and that ICE is like slave catchers. Immigrants are not slaves. Immigrants are not chattel property. So the fact to even equate them to slaves is extremely grotesque and offensive. But no one cares because they are saying, oh, well, when they say slaves, we're talking about black people, right? So who cares if we disrespect them? Why aren't they like saying that this is like some Jews who were gassed in the chamber, right? This is just like that. Putting migrants in detention centers is just like putting Jews in gas chambers. Why isn't no one saying that and making that correlation, right? Because no one thinks that that's really what it is. So how do you think that this is slavery? All they're saying is, hey, look, you were flying the flag of that country that you were flying the flag of. We're just going to send you back there because you came in here illegally. No, that's xenophobic. You hate immigrants. Huh? You came in the country illegally. You said that you had a superior culture, death to America, all this other stuff. You wasn't flying an American flag. You was flying a Bolivian flag, a Venezuelan flag, a Jamaican, a Haitian, a Chinese flag. Fine. We're going to send you back to China. We're going to send you back to Venezuela. This is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. How could you do that? That's xenophobic. Bruh, how could you come in the country illegally? It's a crime. You can say it's a petty crime. It's a crime nonetheless. Let's get back into it.
I think that's the part for me, and I do want to hear from y'all. But I just got to say, I believe there's a special place in fiery hell for coonery.
Looking for tax help? Now there are TurboTax.
If you're looking for tax help, go to TurboTax. Did y'all file y'all taxes yet? Are there any tax gurus in the chat? Let me know. I do need a CPA. But yeah, I just muted it because these have some automatic ads, and then we'll back into it.
The image. This is the coonery I'm talking about. Who's behind an anti-redistricting flyer invoking Jim Crow? A former Hampton GOP delegate. He represented the Hampton area. It was Delegate AC Cardoza. This ain't our people, Jamel.
Be our whole people.
This that man. That's the he don't really have a neck either. This the no neck committee responsible for this ad. What y'all got? I'm done. I'm gonna be quiet because I'm in trouble today.
No, but like I hope that people understand the bigger picture. And I've said this before in getting into arguments with conservatives. It's like, if your ideas were that much greater, why do you feel the need to cheat? If you think they're really that much more popular, if you think you have broader vision, if you believe.
If the Democrats' ideas was that much better, how did they lose to Trump again? Oh, let me guess. Racism and sexism.
All the things that you say about the type of America you want us to have, then you would need to do stuff like this. And unfortunately, we have a public that, because of the day-to-day challenges.
Damn, Roger said, I haven't filed my taxes since 2016 and haven't paid them either. Well, bruh, you probably gonna owe a lot, man. They gonna probably garnish a lot. Why haven't you paid them, man? You probably could have got a tax return. And don't you drive a lot? I think you could write a lot of stuff off. And especially if you are an independent contractor, I believe. So yeah, maybe you should file them taxes, Roger. But whatever works for you.
Of life are just trying to put food on the table, have a livable wage, put a roof over their head, that things like this are very easy to fall for. I mean, and especially now that we've sort of programmed people to try to look out for it coming to you online, because we know that communities of color are definitely targeted with misinformation and disinformation online. And so people tend to have.
Here she goes with this whole communities of color shit. Like, who the hell is she talking about? Well, she's talking about communities of color. Like, who though? Like, seriously, who is she talking about? Oh, she's talking about some white Latinos. Oh, but they're Latinos, so they're people of color. Like, how though? This is a white Hispanic. Where is the color at? And I'm not saying that, hey, you can't come together with other groups, but it's just like this incessant need to try to lump everyone into this broad coalition that doesn't even exist. When I hear Latino politicians talk about, they're not talking about people of color, communities of color. It's Latino, 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 Hispanic, 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 Asian, 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 Black people, people of color, communities of color, marginalized group. You know what I mean? But then when you look at the footage, it's a Black dude getting his head busted, a Black dude getting a dog sicked on him, a Black person, a Black woman dying on the table giving birth, right? Black people this, Black people that. And then when you time to dole out some resources and say, here, let's try to right the ship and rectify it. Somehow no one's Black. No, we can't give it to Black people. We have to give it to people of color and communities of color and underserved groups and marginalized groups. But the most marginalized is Black people. The most underserved is Black people. The most disenfranchised is Black people. That's DEI, and it just keeps spinning and spinning. And they pretend as if they want to fix the issue, but you can't fix the issue if you're not going to go where if you're not going to target the specific issue for repair. If someone's leg is broken, right? And it's like, hey, we want to repair that broken leg. And the way we'll help repair your broken leg is help your neighbor who has a sprained pinky. Like, okay, but my leg is still broke. Okay, we got it. So the way that we'll help your broken leg is to go to another country and help someone who has a paper cut. Huh? But my leg is still broken. Okay, we got you. So the way we'll help you with a broken leg is to go to another state and help someone who has pneumonia. But my leg is still broken. All lives matter. All ailments matter. All sicknesses matter. It's like, bro, you went to go treat a paper cut and I'm sitting here with a broken leg. Stop complaining. You don't want to go back to sub-Saharan Africa, do you? So this is unfortunately where society is with it.
The same level of skepticism when it comes to the mailers and the television commercials, which we have seen in many elections have a deep impact and influence.
And it looks like we've been joined by an illustrious guest, Sincere Saida, in building.
Influence on how people vote. So I'm glad that the attention is being drawn, but the part that I'm worried about is how many people will already have fallen for this, and whether or not they will receive the proper and correct information to know how to vote accordingly.
I think Jamil's first point was just brilliant, because I say something similar when you oftentimes, because I don't know how many of you all have seen, and I challenge you all, I was watching it some this morning, but the deposition from the Doge employees, and they really just fell apart when they were questioned
about DEI,
just about any of their beliefs, right? And so when you challenge conservatives on things like this, on ideas, usually you find out that you can win on that playing field, because they understand even that their ideas are not better for the country, black, white, poor, otherwise. The other thing is, if your vote wasn't so important, people wouldn't work so damn hard to take it from you. And that's what we're seeing day in and day out. But I'm glad that the battlefield is in Virginia, because my favorite elected official in the entire country, I know that it's weird. People will be like, y'all are in politics too deep when you have like a favorite elected official, but like.
Yeah, so now you can see how nerdy this dude is, and there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. Shout out to all the blurds. And I actually missed BlurredCon, and a blurred is a black nerd, you know. I need to get with the blurred community. I actually got an organization coming out called Ghetto Geeks, and salute to my brother George Macon. He has the Urban Nerd, so look for the Ghetto Geeks coming up. But I'm going to transition. I'm gonna pull that video back up, but I want to play this video because he was talking about the dudes from Doge and how they're all against like DEI. So it's funny because Doge is allegedly against DEI, but they hired a bunch of DEI hires. So guess who benefits the most from DEI? That would be white people, because who benefits the most from DEI? White women. Most white women are married to white men. So a benefit to white women is a benefit to the white nuclear family and power structure. Not only that, with these nebulous terms, people of color, marginalized groups, disenfranchised people, if this dude right here, who is a straight white dude, let's just say his name is Billy Bob. If Billy Bob wants to change his name to Barbara Ann or Barbara Sue and say, hey, I'm not him, now I'm her and they, he or she or they would now be a trans person, part of a marginalized group, entitled to the same benefits and privileges, grants as any other minority, right? If there's a white dude who breaks his leg, oops, my bad, I was playing golf, slipped, broke my leg. Now they're disabled. Guess what? Disabled people are minorities, marginalized, distressed, underserved groups. So when people say DEI, look up the stats. Don't take my word for it. Less than 5% of the benefits went to black people. And specifically, even less than that went to foundational black Americans. They took a melanated face and said, look, this person is from Senegal, this person is from Uganda, but hey, they're black. So look, we helped black people. No, they helped a bunch of immigrants. Fine if you want to help immigrants. Just stop framing it as if DEI helped black people. DEI, just like affirmative action, mainly helped white people. This is a white Christian nation, right? So why wouldn't you expect these programs to be beneficial to the dominant society? So let me play this video from Doge and I'll get back into it. This is a video from some dude named Nathan Kavanaugh, right? When people talk about meritocracy, this dude wasn't hired based on merit, right? He was a Doge staffer in charge of overseeing small U.S. agencies and national endowment for the humanities grants. So he was over there saying, okay, where is the U.S. giving this money out and how could we cut that? Now, they didn't cut any grants to all these big wig people, right? Do you think Elon Musk pulled himself up by his bootstrap? He's telling you don't beg the government for anything. If you say, hey, look, government, all I need is $5,000, $10,000. I'll get it popping. Elon Musk is saying, stop begging, shut up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So you're not even supposed to ask for $100, $1,000, or $10,000. But guess what Elon Musk is asking for? Not millions, billions and billions. And then once I'm sure if I gave you a couple mil, you can make something shake. He gets billions and it's like, oh my God, he's a genius. He's really not though. If you get billions, you can hire the geniuses, right? There's not a bunch of geniuses that have billions of dollars. There are cutthroat people that have billions. You see all of the movies and stuff. When you see all of these scientists and they are the ones building all of these nuclear bombs, do you think those scientists are billionaires? No. So Elon Musk, has he probably built something? Possibly. Does he have some level of sophistication? Yeah, maybe a scintilla, but to act like this dude is just some modern day, real McCoy Einstein, that's just not the case. All the dude is just a super privileged dude who grew up with the bigoted daddy and a silver spoon in his mouth. But let's see what this Doge bro has to say. This is the best the high IQs have to offer, apparently.
You don't regret that people might have lost important income to support their lives?
No. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero.
Did you reduce the federal deficit?
No, we didn't.
This is a history of the HIV/AIDS prison movement and its legacies in the United States. My book project narrates how activists fought the convergence of HIV/AIDS and incarceration from inside and outside prisons across the Reagan.
I can't really turn the video up, so just let me know if you guys have any issues hearing the video, because they're asking him in the background, why did he cut these programs? It does have some captions at the bottom, so I'll just only play a little bit of it. It's only 2 minutes and 51 seconds, so it's not long, but let me know if you guys have any issues hearing the video.
Through Clinton years, and argues that this organizing holds legacies in the prison abolition movement of the 1990s to today. This is one of the grants that you or Mr. Fox identified as craziest at NEH, is that right?
That's right.
Why did you identify this as one of the craziest grants?
Because it references feminist and queer insights into prison abolition and LGBTQ studies.
Any other reasons?
No.
Examining military service from the margins, the complicated service discussion series will bring together veterans and community members to examine the experiences of service members who identify themselves as female, Black, Native American, LGBTQ, or an immigrant, the dynamics, reasoning, and strength behind serving a country that does not always serve you in return. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
You and Mr. Fox identified this as one of the craziest grants at NEH?
Yes, it appears so.
Why did you do that?
Because it explicitly says LGBTQ.
Do you have any history in, let's say, scholarly peer review?
No.
Okay. So, but this judgment call was made by you and your personal judgment combined with Justin's personal judgment to cancel grants based on DEI?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's inappropriate in any way that someone in their 20s with no experience with grants or federal government was making personal judgment calls about what grants to cancel?
No, I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay. Why not?
Jackson. I think a person can have enough judgment from reading books and being well informed outside of traditional experience to make judgment calls about obvious things like a grant that literally lists DEI in its description to know whether it violates an executive order.
I'm sorry. I'm saying books because you said books. What books would you have read that would have informed your opinion on what grants to cancel based on DEI? Or
There were no books.
So there you have it. That was a high IQ at work. And just to be clear, so just to let people know in the chat, they said, oh, is there a blurred con? Actually, there is. So hold on. This is it right here. You can look this up. It looks like it already passed. So this is Blurred Con. It was March 6th through 8th. It was in Arlington, Virginia. So salute to all the people at Blurred Con. So let me see if you can see a little bit of this. Okay, this doesn't show too much, but yeah, so and at Blurred Con, this is it right here. Hold on. Could y'all see that? And I'm gonna get back into the video. Blurred Con themed Geek Nick. So instead of a Freak Nick, they had a Geek Nick. I kind of like that. That's dope. So this celebrates blurred culture, Black nerds, and of course, you know, since we're all inclusive, Black nerds and people love, y'all know the rest, engaged in anime, gaming, sci-fi, fantasy, pop culture, while fostering an inclusive environment for LGBT, disabled, and international communities, right? So we're always all inclusive for everyone, especially our nerds. It's funny because the Black nerds is all inclusive, but then when they get over with the white nerds, they get called nigger. And then they be like, oh, I got clowned by Black people for being a nerd. Yeah, bro, you gonna get clowned, bro. We clown all people. We clown nerdy niggas, hood niggas, street niggas, musty niggas, dusty niggas, rich niggas. No one is exempt. That means that you're part of the fold. You part of the family. It'd be funny because people be wanting all of this equality and saying that I want to be treated equal. Okay, fine. If I'm equally clowning on other people, I'm using slurs towards other people, I'm using raunchy, debaucherous jokes towards other people, but don't use it towards trans and gay people because that's transphobic and homophobic. You can joke and ridicule straight people, and that's not heterophobic. But you clown a gay person, you're homophobic. Nah, that's equality, right? So yeah, check out the Blurred Con, and I'm in the Bay Area. If anybody is in the Bay Area, I might have to put on my own Blurred Con. But like I said, Ghetto Geeks coming soon. But here's the image right here with Blurred Con. You know, of course, they're kind of all inclusive and they got some other people on there. So let me go ahead and pull that video back up. And salute to everybody in the chat. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, you know, but I do have more time tomorrow, so I can go for a long and a strong time tomorrow. But tonight it may just be a strong time. So let's get back into it.
Her picture is, I sent her.
And whether or not they will receive the proper and correct information to know how to vote accordingly.
Mm-hmm. I think Jamil's first point was just brilliant, because I say something similar when you oftentimes, because I don't know how many of you all have seen, and I challenge you all, I was watching it some this morning, but the deposition from the Doge employees, and they really just fell apart when they were questioned
about DEI.
About DEI, just about any of their beliefs, right? And so when you challenge conservatives on things like this, on ideas, usually you find out that you can win on that playing field, because they understand even that their ideas are not better for the country, Black, white, poor, otherwise. The other thing is, if your vote wasn't so important, people wouldn't work so damn hard to take it from you. And that's what we're seeing day in and day out. But I'm glad that the battlefield is in Virginia, because my favorite elected official in the entire country, I know that it's weird. People will be like, y'all are in politics too deep when you have like a favorite elected official, but like her picture is.
Yes, it is weird to have a favorite elected official, because this elected official that he's about to name, most people don't know. And Okay, fine. That's your favorite elected official. But what have they done? Most of the times it's political theater, which all the times they hold these congressional hearings, not because they're trying to get anything done, advance legislation. Most of the times it's grandstanding. So people like Cory Booker could get their Spartacus moment, right? That's all it's about, political theater.
Send her picture to folk, but Senator Louise Lucas, Louise Lucas, I don't know if y'all noticed.
Oh, yeah, she a thug.
82 years old, graduated from Norfolk State twice, and will tell you
what thugs are there in Congress. Now, I will concur with that. There are a bunch of thuggish people in Congress. But since when did we praise thugs? So we won't praise the thug on the corner that is a product of his environment, but we will praise some thugs in Congress who don't give a flying flip about the working class people, especially not black people. Oh yeah, she a thug. Okay, what has this thug done for her community? Most of the times all they do is grandstand, bloviate, and babble incessantly and aimlessly. What is that doing for your community? You go, girl. All this kind of sister girl soliloquies are not translated into tangible anything.
damn hard to take it from you. And that's what we're seeing day in and day out. But I'm glad that the battlefield is in Virginia, because my favorite elected official in the entire country, I know that it's weird. People will be like, y'all are in politics too deep when you have like a favorite elected official. But like, her picture is, I sent her picture to folk, but Senator Louise Lucas, Louise Lucas, I don't know if y'all noticed.
Oh, yeah, she a thug.
82 years old, graduated from Norfolk State twice, and will tell you about yourself.
So he's excited because she will tell you about yourself. It's a bunch of musty niggas on the hood that will tell you about yourself. It's a bunch, Lindsey Graham will probably tell you about yourself. Bibi Netanyahu will probably tell you about yourself. Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes will tell you about yourself. Is this really a quality or an attribute to be all giddy about? Not only that, she's 82. See, when people are young, it's okay to discriminate against young people. We have all sorts of colloquial sayings. Man, bro, still wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac, right? We have sayings to say, bruh, you need to grow up a little bit, right? But why are we praising people in Congress that are in their 80s? I'm not going to have time to address it tonight. Maxine Waters, a seamstress. I know a lot of people want to try to say, Maxine Waters remind me of my grandmama. Well, if she reminds you of your grandmama, I hate to break it to you, but your grandma is a sellout. You can point to some good things that she may have done and said, but we have to look at the overall body of work. She is a sellout, no different than Jim O. Django Clyburn, who I'll call Jim Coonburn, right? He's just burning inside to be a coon and to sell his people out, right? He's 85 years old. Now think of anything that you do, right? Whether you love playing video games, whether you love knitting sweaters and making quilts, whether you love writing books. I'm sure you can write books in your 80s, but would you really want to write books in your 80s? There's some people that could still shoot hoops. If you could shoot hoops, would you really want to shoot hoops in your 80s? If you're a video gamer and you love video games, would you still be trying to be video gaming in your 80s? So what I'm saying is, there's no job that you can really think of that you love that much that you would want to do it well past your 80s. So then you have to think, why the hell are these people in their 80s so reluctant to retire? They have millions and millions of dollars. You're 80 years old, bro. You got enough money for life. So no one asks, like, why are they just keep running? You think they're running because they love the people so much. They're almost about to croak. And many of them do croak in office. You think, oh, they're all good. And then next thing, they turn up unalived because they had some undiagnosed ailment or a diagnosed ailment where they know that this person had cancer or something. Ruth Bader or Ruth Bigot Ginsburg knew that she was dying, but she wanted to be a very pompous princess and say, nope, I'm going to die on the bench. How was that democratic? How did that help you? She stood up for women. How? She could have stood up for women by standing her ass down, but instead she made it all about her. All of these politicians in their 80s, but won't pass the torch, and you think they're really fighting for you? Come on now.
Lucas, I don't know if y'all noticed.
Oh yeah, she a thug.
82 years old, graduated from Norfolk State twice, and will tell you about yourself. I mean, she single-handedly, stopped the Redskin. What do they call the
commanders?
Commanders, from coming out there and taking advantage of her constituents, and she's helping, along with the Speaker of the House, fight back. And I just think that this is the place where I'm glad this battle is taking place, because you're seeing what happens when you have smart, very talented, particularly Black folk in leadership position able to fight back. And
So Roger says, so she's celebrating thugs. So I guess Angela's okay with Trump kidnapping the president of another country. Ultimate in thuggery. And this is what I'm saying with their whole selective outrage and, selective endorsements, right? Oh yeah, they were just praising this 82-year-old woman and her thuggish ways, her thuggish proclivities. So she's a congressperson. She should be held to a higher standard, just as well as Trump should be. But then they'll look at a nigga from the hood and say he went to a poor failing school, so he has a low education and he is an orphan because, his family abandoned him. And we're going to hold that thug to the same standard as some person in Congress. You know what I mean? This person has at least not an excuse, but an explanation and a rationale for being thuggish. What's the excuse for Congress for being corrupt, thuggish, genocidal stooges?
I have confidence we'll win. Last point is we've always had obstacles. Black folk have always had obstacles, whether or not it's Georgia, whether or not it's this, whether or not it's the state, let America, it didn't matter. We're still going to come out and vote in extremely high numbers and overcome this. And I do believe that this will pass with a yes.
Yeah. They, in my race for governor, they did phone calls into Black households telling them the wrong date of the election, giving them the date beyond the election to go, don't forget, we need to have his back. This sort of coon talking, minstrel voice on the other end. And I will tell you,
this is the pot calling the kettle black. Andrew Gillum, nigga, who are you calling a coon? All of y'all Democrats, yes, many on the right are conservatives, but most of them niggas in the Democrats, y'all are step and fetch it, Sambos and tethers. Not only tap dancing for the Democratic establishment, pulling down your pants and spreading cheeks and saying, no, Democratic massa, you don't even need no lube. You can just slide right in. That's what you goofy coon Democratic niggas are. And it's no different than the conservatives. No party is coming to save you. You're supposed to vote on policy, not on personality and not on politician. But these goofy niggas and these broads up here, they always want to have you vote blue no matter who, because it's an existential threat and you don't want to vote for fascism and we have to vote to save democracy. They've been telling you that for 50 years. How is democracy not saved? Oh, just vote Democrat another 50 years and we'll save democracy. When they bring these immigrants over here, they expect those immigrants to vote blue. But why are they not looking at the immigrants and telling them, hey, look, we're going to give you mass amnesty. We gave you TPS. We're giving you DACA, right? Y'all need to vote blue no matter who. They're not telling them that. Instead, they're looking at the Black community saying, we don't like you niggas. Y'all low IQ, uneducated thugs. But hey, vote blue no matter who. You know what I mean? And then when you say, no, I'm good, I ain't getting that out of my vote, then it's like, you just don't understand politics. And it turns into that. Nah, many of our people who did understand politics sold us out. The other people have been dejected and abstaining from politics. And the people who are becoming more politically sophisticated are saying, you know what? I do know politics. I'm going to strategize and weaponize my vote. If you say my vote don't matter, then cool. There's no reason for me to vote. If you're saying that my vote does matter, then you should do something for my vote. But it goes back and forth. Your vote don't matter. Y'all are irrelevant. Okay, fine. We're irrelevant. So we need to focus on our community and not vote. No, y'all dumb. Y'all dumb. It's gonna go back to Jim Crow if you don't vote. So which one is it? I thought we were irrelevant and our vote didn't matter. No, your vote does matter. So if it does matter, then what are you gonna do to persuade me to vote? We're gonna end fascism. How? Both parties are authoritative. You know what I mean? One person calls you a nigger to your face, another person waits till you walk away and calls you a nigger behind your back. With both parties, you're getting called and treated like the nigger they see you are.
There's often debate around whether or not we should highlight these things, if we should talk about them. Does it serve the purpose or do the work for the opposition, for our community to lift up what the myriad strategies might be to keep us from and hassles that you might have to encounter in order to get your vote cast and also counted? But I got to tell you, we have a resilient community. We have a resilient constituency. They are mature adults.
Once again, all they keep saying is vote, 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 vote. Okay, cool, but what are you gonna get? Vote, 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 vote. Like, god damn. Are we gonna get anything for voting? Your ancestors died for you to have a right to vote and get nothing? Okay.
Enough to hear the truth. God knows I would prefer them getting a forecast of what to expect when they go vote from us, rather than showing up and seeing armed, military armored vehicles outside of polling places. So I hope for those who are still arguing, let's not talk about these distractions. Let's not talk about what the Republicans are going to do, because we may inadvertently suppress our own vote, because people may just decide, look, I don't want to put up with that. So I'm not going to participate. I think people draw the exact opposite conclusion. When you work so hard, as Bakari pointed out, to keep me from voting and keep my vote from mattering, boy, I'm sleeping outside the poll. We are organizing a
You know what? He said, if you work that hard to keep me from voting, you know what? Well, I'm asleep outside the polls. Hey, Andrew Gillum.
You know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
Huh? This nigga want to vote so bad that he's willing to pitch a tent and camp outside the polls to vote? Notice that none of them are saying what's being offered for your vote. They're not talking about policy. They're just saying vote blue no matter who. Vote blindly because the orange man bad. We have to save democracy and end fascism, right? They don't tell you how they're going to do it. Well, you'll do it by voting blue because anybody is better than the orange man. It don't matter if it's Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, Shapiro, Ro Khanna, Cory Booker. It doesn't matter. Vote blue no matter who. This is essentially what they're trying to say. They'll pretend as if they're calling out the Democrats and holding them accountable. They pretended as if they were mad at the Democrats for not rallying behind Jasmine Crockett. But ultimately they say they were bad. They were mean. Vote blue no matter who. And let's just say that you do vote blue no matter who. Think of it like this. If you're in a relationship with an abusive person and that person slaps you up, that person gets you STDs, that person abused you verbally, emotionally, and physically, but you're going to always come up back. You're always going to bust it open for that person. Why would they stop abusing you? Whatever they do, you're going to come back. If they can just say, hey, look, yeah, I treat you bad, but you know, the other person is going to treat you worse. And then you say, damn, I want to leave, but the other person is going to treat me worse. So I'm going to stay with this person who abuses me, right? No, you shouldn't get abused. And I don't condone the mistreatment of anyone, especially for frivolous and idiotic reasons, right? Especially for them not deserving it. But if someone is abusing you and you stay and allow that treatment to be normalized, all parties involved are going to become desensitized to the mistreatment and the subjugation, which will lead to more mistreatment and more subjugation. So if you want the party to, answer to your demands or listen to you, then, some are going to have to abstain and impose consequences on them. Otherwise, they're going to say, yeah, we don't really care. You know what I mean? You guys can cry to the high heavens. We don't give a fuck about you niggas, unfortunately.
A sleep out before election day, but I think we gotta highlight these things so that folks have a real sense of the mystery and mischief the other side's gonna be up to.
The other thing that I think is important to bring into this mix, we're talking about redistricting efforts in Virginia, of course, but we also can't turn a blind eye to some of the tactics that the Trump administration have turned to within the last couple of months. So we know in January, at the end of January, the FBI went to raid.
Well, Roger, I'm in the Bay Area. All of those counties are in SoCal, but Ventura is one of the harshest counties. Orange County, San Bernardino, all of those counties are anti-Black. California is anti-Black. The entire country is anti-Black, and California is a hotbed for rampant anti-Blackness. California may be one of the most anti-Black because it's supposed to be a bastion of liberal inclusivity, but it's more like liberal lunatics and, MAGA morons who hate Black people. They see other people as like minorities and they don't dislike them, but they see them as buffer groups that they can tolerate. They just openly despise Black people, even though they don't even really live next to Black people. Like, all of these areas and counties are super segregated. You know what a NIMBY is? Not in my backyard. So the people that don't even live next to Black people have the most to say. These are the people saying, what about Chicago? Like, dude, you live in Wyoming. What about Oakland? You live in Utah. You don't plan to go to Chicago. You've never been to Chicago. And if you went to Chicago, you would love it. You've never been to Oakland. And if you went to Oakland, you would love it. But, they look at some parts on a centralized area where crime is happening and want to condemn the whole city, right? The same thing with Chicago and Chirac. Chicago is a beautiful city, right? Chicago is not a war zone. You would love it if you went there. But let's get back into the video.
Hamilton County's voting records from 2020 as if to give Donald Trump any credibility to what he was alleging then, also seeking out votes, which we know our dear sister Fani Willis was working on, trying to prosecute him for the election fraud he was actually committing. But at the end of January, authorities seized 700 boxes related to an election 6 years ago.
Yes, both parties do that. And then it's the same thing with the whole Israel thing. Hey, these are the chosen people, so you need to stand with Israel. And then, hey, this is a Christian nation and all this other stuff. So you're supposed to follow this Christian indoctrination, even if it displaces you, right? But might makes right, not biblical scriptures, right? If someone has, if there's a standoff, and one person has two Bibles in their hand and another person has one Bible and one firearm, who do you think is going to be able to make the rules and enforce things? Some would say the person with the Bible, right? He has two Bibles, so he should be twice as powerful and immersed in the faith. Another person has one Bible and one firearm. The person could point the firearm and say, drop those Bibles. They can say, put your hands up, drop your hands. They can say whatever. and they can fire some bullets and drop you. Unfortunately, might makes right. If you have 2 Bibles, that's not going to stop a dude with 1 Bible and 1 gun, right? What are you going to say? Let go and let God? When he letting loose hot lead in your body, and you saying, let go and let God. Okay.
There is nothing to look for from 6 years ago except for intimidation of voters in a very, very important election in Georgia, as we know, coming up. It's important everywhere, but it's particularly important in Georgia because we have the opportunity to hold the Senate, to elect a new governor or not. So 700 boxes.
Good luck with that. The Taz, the Timothys, the Beckys, the Brads, many of them don't want to get on board. I mean, just look at what happened. Like I was telling you earlier, the people, they will despise Black people. They don't want to live around Black people. They don't want to see a Black person in their neighborhood. But somehow they'll go to Africa, they'll go to Uganda, Senegal, Sudan, and adopt an African child. There's a bunch of poor American kids here. They don't have to be Black. Why is it a bunch of white people who have no history of standing up for Black people, standing with Black people, but they always want to have a Black child? And as soon as they adopt a Black child, they know the child is Black or African or Caribbean. And then they say, I don't see color. Huh? Your kid is clearly melanated, but you're trying to raise your kid as a colorless, emotionless being, right? No one thinks that's weird. It's not weird for white people to adopt Black kids. But if I say, you know what? I want to bridge the gap between the races. So I will adopt kids, but I only want to adopt blonde hair, blue-eyed kids. I'm not discriminating against other people. It's just I want to bring the races closer. So could you only give me white kids to adopt? Do you think that that would go over smooth? Do you think that society just would be okay with that? Do you think the adoption agencies would just be okay with that? They give you a spiel and say, you know, if they think that the home would be a conducive environment for the child to succeed and thrive, right? So let's put that theory to the test. Fine. All of these celebrities, Charlize Theron, Angelina Jolie, Jillian Michaels, everybody wants to go and get a melanated kid who's not American, right? They want to go to Oprah school where they let this pedo run rampant, right? They always want to go to those schools. Fine. Let me holler at Charlie Kirk's, Kirk's wife, and let me go adopt some Romanian kids because we are the world, we are the people. Does anyone know an agency where I can adopt some beautiful blonde hair, blue-eyed children? Because I want to bridge the racial gap. And I do want to adopt some blonde hair, blue-eyed kids. But remember, I don't see color. Remember that.
Related to this probe, all in Fulton County. Who's in Fulton County, y'all?
Black people.
Black people.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the Homeland Security. Oh, by the way, the FBI field agent in charge, his name was Paul Brown, I believe, was fired.
And I really don't know why they're saying who's in Fulton County. Yeah, there's Black people in Fulton County now, but the immigrants with the open borders are dumping a bunch of non-Black non-citizens over there as well. So who long knows how long Fulton County will be Black? And it doesn't matter if it's Black if they displace and disenfranchise the people there. So it will just be a bunch of people there who are unable, unwilling to exercise their political power. So not really a flex.
For expressing concerns about this FBI raid. So I also want to be clear about that. If you're not a yes man or a yes woman for Trump, you got to go. So then after that, they went to Arizona. Guess where they went in Arizona?
Maricopa.
Maricopa.
Angela Rye was working when Obama campaigned. If you weren't a yes man for Obama, you had to go as well. Aren't all politicians the same way? The people who wasn't a yes man for Biden, he got them up out of here, right? And they like to throw around that word demagogue and authoritarian much. It's like all of those presidents were acting with authoritative and dictatorial proclivities.
Hold the Senate to elect a new governor or not. So 700 boxes related to this probe, all in Fulton County. Who's in Fulton County, y'all?
Black people.
Black people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Homeland Security. Oh, by the way, the FBI field agent in charge, his name was Paul Brown, I believe, was fired for expressing concerns about this FBI raid. So I also want to be clear about that. If you're not a yes man or a yes woman for Trump, you got to go. So then after that, they went to Arizona. Guess where they went in Arizona?
Maricopa
County. Who's in Maricopa? Ain't no white people.
Nope. Latinos.
So I want to point this out. This is over, again, the 2020 election results.
So once again, they were talking about black people, and now they pivot to say, oh, look, they're trying to disenfranchise Latinos. But what Latinos are they talking about? Maricopa County? It's a bunch of white Latinos over there. Like, which Latinos are they talking about? The brown ones? The brown ones who were trying to get blanqueamiento, rey mejor la raza, or the ones who are already white? And she's saying this as if she's standing up for this community, and we need to come together and have some solidarity. But the Latino community is saying, while y'all were voting to say all lives matter, no one's illegal on stolen land, open the borders, the Latinos were voting to close the border and saying, no, they not like us, which is partly why Jasmine Crockett lost. She was saying, we ain't trying to go out there and pick the cotton. We need immigrants for that. And they said, hell to the no. We ain't coming over there to pick no fruit, no cotton, none of that. And if we do, it's going to be temporary. Soon as we had them babies, yeah, we moving on to bigger things, greener pastures as well. So the whole, this is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants, that only goes so far. They don't say that they're coming over here to pick fruit. They say they're coming to seek a better life. Seeking a better life, doesn't entail picking fruit for many of them.
All from a debunked claim that there was election fraud happening there. The former attorney general in Arizona looking into this. And of course, it's been a debunked claim. So anyway,
Angela, I don't even think it's about. I don't think this is a rewind to the last election. I think
you don't.
This is pretext for this is them trying to push the limits of their authority to show the American people what they have the capacity to do. What courts will step in to keep them from seizing ballots? What courts will stop them from going and seizing voting machines on the evening of elections when those machines should be counting votes and sending them directly to the headquarters in.
Now, here's the fear mongering coming in. They're trying to push the limits of their power. That part is true. But of course, that's the whole thing of being a president, right? You're supposed to be the leader of the free world, which is a idiotic statement, but let's just go with that, right? It's a misnomer. But yeah, if you're a president and you have the bully pulpit, people are going to use it. Biden could have did the same thing, but Biden tried to act like I'm trying to restore the soul of the nation, right? But what did he do to do that? All he did was disrespect black people and say that, hey, you guys got to get used to it because, we're going to let a bunch of Hispanics in. So it's going to be their country now. And then they were okay, like, shut up, blacks, you niggers can't do anything about it. And then the Heritage Americans was like, hey, not so fast, buddy. Remember us?
Counties all across the country. I think they are here testing the limits of not their authority, because they don't have the authority to do this. They're testing the limits of who gonna check me, who's gonna stop me, and with what military are they going to do it with? So again, when we talk about,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jasmine Crockett could have won. For one, she could have won even without the Latino vote. She could have won if she had ran the numbers up with black people, because there were multiple counties where black people actually didn't even vote. So voter apathy definitely did sink her, and it usually sinks to Democrats, which is why they always talk about they don't really worry about how many people will vote for the Republicans. They worry about how many people won't vote at all. So when you hear things like 92% of the black vote or 87% of the black vote, that's 87% or 92% of the people who actually vote. So the black people who cast a vote, 92% or 87% of that cast a vote for Jasmine Crockett or whatever Democrat, but there's still millions of people out there who didn't vote. So they need a historical turnout to overcome them not being able to capitalize on some of these other counties and demographics as well. So Jasmine Crockett was for open borders and saying that, hey, look, man, y'all niggas don't want to farm, so we gonna get the Latinos to go out in there. Y'all niggas don't want to pick cotton, so we gonna get the Latinos to do it. And they was like, huh? You tripping. We ain't coming over here to pick no fruit, no cotton, or none of that stuff. They're coming to seek a better life. You hear it all the time. It's a buzzword and bumper sticker. So yeah, she sank her campaign, but let's get back into it.
The things that we should just anticipate, be prepared for. Democrats, anyone who cared, a democracy-loving person, please, please, please don't handle this like we might address the normal rigors of an inquisition, reasonable and.
I couldn't even let him. Here he goes, babbling incoherently and aimlessly. He's just saying a whole bunch of nothing. This is what I call bloviating blather. Where have you heard this before? It's an existential threat. We have to vote like our lives depend on it and all this stuff. If they don't want to let me vote, I'm going to camp outside the voting polls. He still has said he's yet to say what he's voting for. This nigga wants to vote and not get anything for his vote. Your ancestors fought and died for you to vote. Nigga, my ancestors didn't die for me to vote for nothing. So this shit is getting wild. Let me rewind that back. Like, no, nigga, I'm not going out there and voting for nothing, right? Vote, and this is what they want you to do, a cultural, political theatrics. Vote. Okay, fine. I have no issues to vote. What am I going to get for it? Well, your ancestors died for you to vote. Yeah, but I asked you, what am I going to get for it? Well, will you get a I voted sticker? Huh? Nigga, I'm not voting for that janky ass sticker.
And with what military are they going to do it with? So again, when we talk about the things that we should just anticipate, be prepared for, Democrats, anyone who cared, a democracy-loving person, please, please, please don't handle this like we might address the normal rigors of an inquisition, reasonable in nature, even if we disagree with the outcomes. This is not what this is. This is authoritarianism at its alphabet, at its dictionary described level, being persecuted by Trump and all of his sycophants. There are no check people to keep him from doing this. He wanted to seize the ballots last time. And fortunately, there were people like Kelly in place that said, no, we can't do that. The attorney general of the country who did that. Now, who thinks Pam Bondi is going to stand in front of Donald Trump and say no to anything? Nobody.
We know,
nobody.
We know that's not happening, but I think it gets.
And this is what people talk about with that whole Trump derangement syndrome. This is like Trump bad, so vote blue no matter who. And still, once again, they haven't said what you're going to get. You're not going to get anything. The only thing that you'll get is that the orange man is bad, so he won't be in office. Vote Trump out of office. Vote blue no matter who. Like, who the fuck does that serve? Nigga, that serves the Democratic establishment. That doesn't do anything for you. And no, I'm not saying vote red, you know. But it's like, man, this is why I'm saying people need to abstain and people need to find other ways to enrich and empower themselves outside of the political establishment, because clearly voting is not helping you. Niggas haven't been voting and that hasn't helped them. And then niggas have been voting and that hasn't helped them. Why? Because the vote wasn't intended to help us. Voting does help other people, but when you have a whole political apparatus and an establishment that is vehemently against you, that relies on you being society's political doormat, yeah, it's probably not going to help you unless you organize, mobilize, and strategize and wield your vote as a weapon. Wield your camaraderie and your unity as a weapon. Otherwise, just check out, right? If our vote don't matter, then fine. Then, all right, we became politically extinct. Y'all said, fuck y'all niggas. Y'all want to deal with the Latinos? Fine. Let them have it. That means we can't be supporting no other politicians. Don't support no other businesses, no taquerias, no nail shops, none of that stuff. It's not hatred. It's just economic and cultural survival. Group economics, the same group economics that y'all preach, right? So now we just backing out, right? Y'all say a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. Okay, fine. Let the immigrants run the country, right? And, you know, we'll figure out how to clean up our own backyard. How about that?
All of his sycophants. There are no check people to keep him from doing this. He wanted to seize the ballots last time. And fortunately, there were people like Kelly in place that said, no, we can't do that. The attorney general of the country who did that. Now, who thinks Pam Bondi is going to stand in front of Donald Trump and say no to anything? Nobody.
We know
Nobody.
We know that's not happening, but I think it gets to what really is the soft spot in our democracy. And that is, we continue to forget that
So here they keep talking about we have a soft spot in our democracy, but then they keep saying, oh, we got to get Trump out of office because we don't have a democracy. Which one is it? They've been saying that Trump was going to tear down our democracy. Then Trump gets elected democratically. Then it's like, we don't have a democracy. I thought Trump getting elected proved that we had a democracy. No, it just proves what? Like, are you saying that it was illegitimate? Are you saying that it was rigged? So now the Democrats are framing the election as being rigged. But Trump said his election was rigged. So Trump is saying it was rigged. Democrats are saying it's rigged. Then if you ask them, okay, did Trump win fair and square? Well, yeah, he did. Okay, fine. He was democratically elected. So how are we pretending that our democracy is at stake? What the fuck does that even mean, right? This is supposed to be a republic as well. So why do they keep talking about a democracy?
The democracy only stands as much as the people are willing to actually protect it. And what we definitely knew from what happened previously was that.
And shout out to Azure. Voting rights weren't won by voting. And this is what they want to try to push to you. Vote, 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 vote. Vote, 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 vote. It's like, nigga, that's not how people were able to vote. They were sicking dogs, shooting people, assassinating people. It wasn't just, y'all know Malcolm X, the ballot or the bullet. It wasn't the ballot or vote, 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 vote. It wasn't that. Voting requires some level of violence for it to be a right and a privilege for people. Now, many people are like, well, why do you have to make it about violence? We didn't have to make it about violence. The country only responds to violence. There are many peaceful people saying, please, we're human beings. Let us vote. It led to violence, which led to people eventually getting the rights to vote. But people just want to overlook that violent part because they think that someone just wrote a strongly worded letter and then suddenly people were able to vote, right? They don't really care about the plight. It's like if someone else jumps in front of you and takes the bullets for you, sometimes people don't care. It's like someone else took the bullets. I'm just happy to be alive. I don't care that someone sacrificed their life for me. I'm alive. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it is. When people look and talk about democracy and voting rights, they don't care about the sacrifices that my ancestors and forefathers fought to allow everyone to be treated humanely and have the right to vote. They don't care. That's the past. Get over it. All right. They'll say that's the past. Get over it. But then they keep trying to bring up birthright citizenship and say, this grants my anchor baby citizenship because of the past, right? So the past is okay when it suits people, right? U.S. was born in violence. Yeah, U.S. was born on anti-black bigotry, anti-indigeneity, and genocidal maniac sentiments. That's what it was born on, right? Of course, it evolved into more of that, but that's still entrenched and embedded in the fabric of the nation. We're not a nation of strongly worded letters. No, we're a nation that stands on business. Disrespect is the only thing that people disrespect. So yeah, you got to crack some eggs to make an omelet, right? Oops, my bad. So I'm gonna kind of fast forward some of this stuff so I can get ready to shut her down.
Type stuff, and it's gonna require us to have not a knee jerk, but unprecedented levels of response to them stealing.
What does that look
election?
Like? That's the question.
2000 in Florida, I was here for that. You couldn't keep us down. We were down at the Capitol and at the Secretary of State's office. It was mayhem.
So when he says you can't keep us down, all he's saying, you can't keep us from voting. He's not saying you can't keep us from organizing and helping our neighborhoods from being gentrified. You can't keep us down to protest illegal immigrants. But you can't keep us down to vote for an agenda that doesn't serve you. So this nigga is supposed to be a gatekeeper and overseer, a buck broken Sambo who was found, a married dude who was found in a room in a coke-induced stupor with some Caucasian boy toy who I don't know if he was topping or bottoming. Fine, I don't care, my nigga. If you like to get railed from behind, if the nigga like to fondle with dudes' booty holes, I don't really care, bro. That's his thing. But what I'm saying is, if that was any one of us, that would have sank your career. But somehow iHeartRadio is like, nothing to see here, bro. Okay.
Complete and total mayhem.
Narrator states we still lost.
And
Again,
I think that's
we lost a 5-4. We lost a.
Don't do me like that, John. Don't do me like that, John. You know what, John?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
It's true. I mean, do I gotta pull it up or do I gotta pull it up, bruh?
With that freaky ass shit, nigga. You some freaky ass nigga. Fuck you mean? Get your freaky ass on. You know you freak.
A 5-6, or what was it? 7.
You lost
5-4. 5-4
to the Supreme Court. I think here's the point that I want to raise in this moment. What is scary to me is that during the country's 250th anniversary year, we are now at a place where we are fighting for the fundamental right to vote, the fundamental access to the ballot box, whether or not our ballot should be counted, who is making a very partial determination about who gets to have their say. And we've already had that battle. We had it in the Constitution. There's an amendment for that. We had it in the 1965 Voting Rights Act and every reauthorization
13, 14,
after
15.
that. So I'm just saying that at some point, the law of the land should stand, whether you're mad about a Black president winning the election or not. all of this shifted again to partisanship.
Just because that was a kind of pause-worthy moment, I had to let y'all know I wasn't just, I wasn't just talking about the fondling okay, could you hear me? Okay, yeah, I wasn't just talking about the fondling of male or gluteus maximus. So this is apparently the dude right here. So this is Andrew, which some people call Andrew Bussy Gillum, but yeah, this is the hotel. Hold on, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Hold on, let me click on, hold up. Damn, they don't want me to see this image. Hold up. Okay. So this is the hotel room that he was in. I don't know what is this little pump thing right here. I don't know what this pump thing. There's a bottle, there's some pills, there's a bag. That's a nice little designer bag. Like, he got a lot of bags, bro. Why bro got so many bags? I'm just saying, like, what did he have in there? Like, they talking about Diddy had bottles of baby oil. Like, did bro have hella bottles of baby oil? I'm just saying. So let's see what happened, right? I'm gonna type in Andrew Gillum. Hold on, let me just type in Andrew Gillum hotel escort, and then I'm gonna type in some funny stuff. Booty hole fondled. Hold on, let's see. Oops. All right, I'm gonna just type in Andrew Gillum hotel escort. Oh damn, that. All right, Andrew Gillum hotel. Okay, that will be good. Okay. All right, so let's see what it says on here. We typed in Andrew Gillum. Okay. So Andrew Gillum is a Florida gubernatorial candidate. He was involved in a 2020 incident at the Miami Beach Hotel that drew widespread attention and impacted his political career. So Gillum was found in a Miami hotel beach with 2 other men. Yikes. I thought he was just with one boy toy. Bro was in there getting it in. So the photo showed stained bed sheet, spilled pills, and a disco themed party box. Bro was getting it in. Like I said, Andrew Bussy Gillum. So like I said, y'all see it wasn't I wasn't gaslighting. Bro was really, you know what I mean? He was getting it in. So let's get back into the video so I can get ready to wrap it up.
After Barack Obama won the election. And I think that until this country is willing to come to terms with its ugly history, the fact that the vestiges of slavery are alive, well, and present, like, we are going to continue to repeat this. And so, yes, we should fight, but also we do need fighters. The fighters need to show up. This should be something that is talked about consistently. I'm going to tell y'all, because I started talking about Reverend Jackson at the beginning. I used to get so mad sometimes when no matter what we were talking about somewhere, Reverend Jackson got on the stage and he always brought up the right to vote. And I'd be like, we're fine. We're voting. We just voted. We good. What do we, And this is pre-2008.
Hey. Shout out to Red 6, because I ain't gonna lie, this is a good one. Andrew Gillum.
With that freaky ass shit, nigga. You some freaky ass nigga. Fuck you mean? Get your freaky ass on. You know you freak.
By the time 2010 and the Tea Party rolled around, I was like, well, he might be onto something. When voter ID and all the suppressive measures that they introduced in state legislatures all throughout the country, cutting back early voting days, figuring out how to have voter ID. It's just an ID. You have to have ID to get on a plane. Everybody don't fly, right? Everybody don't.
So here's the thing. You saw how this thing So she's mad that people are pushing for voter ID, right? And she's trying to diminish it and say, okay, so what if you have to have if you have to have ID to buy alcohol, to get in the club, etc. Well, everybody don't fly and everybody don't got ID and all this stuff. Okay, fine. I can concur with that. But why are we saying instead of getting the people who don't have IDs, instead of making it easier for them to have access to get an ID, instead we should just let them vote without an ID? This doesn't even make any sense. They'll say that these people are so elderly, so poor, so disabled and disenfranchised that they can't go anywhere. They can't do anything to get an ID. You mean to tell me in the greatest nation, the most innovative nation, we can't figure out how to get people IDs? Does everyone in the chat have an ID? I'm sure you do, right? But this is what they want you to believe, that black people are just too dumb, too lazy, or just too poor to get IDs, right? No, every black person I know, old, young, middle-aged, has an ID. Guess who doesn't have IDs? People who are undocumented. Says it in the name, undocumented. They don't have any legal documentation. So saying that, hey, anyone should be able to vote, you can just show up and vote. And then if someone shows up and votes and then they say, oops, I didn't know I was supposed to vote. Well, yeah, now someone's already elected to office and stuff. And then they want to frame it. Oh, no, these people are not voting. They're not voting. Okay, if they're not voting, then what's the issue of having ID? This doesn't even make sense. You want to go in the club to get a chick to twerk it and spread eagle and bust it open on you, you got to show an ID for that. If you say, hey, I want to go buy a Heineken, a Coors, a Bud Light, you got to show ID for that. All of these things that you have to show ID for. Zoran Mamdani was doing some snow job and he said, you got to show ID and proof of citizenship to do a snow plowing job. But somehow they say that this is the pillar of our democracy, voting, right? This is what will uphold our democracy. But just let anyone come without an ID, and they're framing this as if they're standing up for the working class. Let's rewind in that. Look how animated she gets about this whole voter ID thing, since they want you desensitized so that you think that asking for voter ID is somehow bigoted towards black people. Now, this country is bigoted towards black people, but not for asking for voter ID to vote. That's one of the most pathetic excuses. But they have convinced a bunch of people, right, that hey, having ID to vote, right? You love voting so much, right? Okay. And then think about this, the Democrats, because they love black people and we're the backbone and we want the backbone to vote. If you're saying allegedly that the backbone doesn't have ID disproportionately, where are the Democratic policies? Where are the NGOs, right? Because the NGOs love the Democrats as well. Where are the NGOs that are giving out millions and millions to non-citizens? Where are they to give out and say, hey, look, it only costs $30 to $50 depending on the state to get your ID? We've already given thousands to non-citizens. Here, you can't get your ID. Here's 50 for you, 50 for you, 50 for you. Why won't they create a task force that helps drive around and pick up these elderly people and fast track them to be able to go to the DMV and get their IDs if they're veterans, they're elder people and all this other type of stuff? Instead, we're just saying, well, some old people that they can't drive, so just let them vote without presenting their ID.
To come to terms with its ugly history, the fact that the vestiges of slavery are alive, well, and present. Like, we are going to continue to repeat this. And so, yes, we should fight, but also we do need fighters. The fighters need to show up. This should be something that is talked about consistently. I'm going to tell y'all, because I started talking about Reverend Jackson at the beginning. I used to get so mad sometimes when no matter what we were talking about somewhere, Reverend Jackson got on the stage and he always brought up the right to vote. And I'd be like, we're fine. We're voting. We just voted. We good. What are we, And this is pre-2008. By the time 2010 and the Tea Party rolled around, I was like, well, he might be onto something. When voter ID and all the suppressive measures that they introduced in state legislatures all throughout the country, cutting back early voting days, figuring out how to have voter ID. It's just an ID. You have to have ID to get on a plane. Everybody don't fly, right? Everybody don't live right down the street from a Department of Licensing or DMV. Everybody can't afford a passport or to get a new birth certificate. Like, we have a privileged way of thinking about this. And it
So they're saying that people are so poor that they can't afford a passport. How much is a passport? I know we got some passport bros in the chat. Let me know how much y'all paid for your passport, right? So we're saying that people are this poor that they can't afford to get a birth certificate. How much does a birth certificate cost? Between, let's just say, $50 to $100. I don't think that much in most places, but I'm just giving the highest possible estimate, right? So you mean to tell me that these people are so poor that they can't even afford to buy a birth certificate, but their main focus should be voting for the Democrats? So the Democrats or the Republicans aren't doing anything to make their life better so that they're able to afford their own birth certificate, but just vote blue no matter who to stop fascism? No. How about I vote so that I could afford to buy a birth certificate, right? Since birth certificates are so vital to the health of this nation and to establish me as a citizen, right? What's more important, someone who can't afford a birth certificate or sending billions and billions to Israel and Ukraine? What is a more pressing issue? Now, people like Angela Rye, the Democrat shills, the corporate stooges, they will try to say that, hey, look, man, we can help everybody. We can help Israel, Ukraine, every other place. And then we say, fine, let's just help everybody. And then when you say, hey, okay, we've noticed y'all have been helping everybody. When is it going to come time to help us? Shut up, you're privileged. Okay. You don't understand politics.
just, what are we good? What are we, and this is pre 2008. By the time 2010 and the Tea Party rolled around, I was like, well, he might be onto something. When voter ID and all the suppressive measures that they introduced in state legislatures all throughout the country, cutting back early voting days, figuring out how to have voter ID. It's just an ID. You have to have ID to get on a plane. Everybody don't fly, right? Everybody don't live right down the street from a Department of Licensing or DMV. Everybody can't afford a passport or to get a new birth certificate. Like, we have a privileged way of thinking about this, and it is suppressive and harmful to our elders who fought the very fight for us. And yes, it is frustrating to have this fundamental conversation, especially when there are people in our communities who are like, I would love to talk to you about voting, but I can't feed my kids tomorrow. We have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Hell, chew something. We got to be able to meet people's basic needs, but also this is a basic and fundamental. Right. It should be constitutionally protected in ways that it's clearly not. Because
oh, my bad. It looked like I was muted, but I was saying that where are the tangible policies that they're talking about? You haven't heard anything that they said that they're going to do for you, but all they have said is vote, 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 vote for the vote, 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 vote. Okay, fine. I went out there and voted. Now, what am I getting for my vote? Well, your ancestors died for the right for you to vote. Yeah, but I asked, what tangible am I getting, right? I want to be able to see something for my vote. Well, Trump is out of office, so you should be happy about that, right? That's what they want to try to convince you, is that voting, and it looks like John is about to go live. Cool, John, because I'm actually about to shut this down in the next 15 minutes. And if y'all want to see another dope stream, tune into John Sin Different It Gets Deeper podcast. So I'm going to get ready to wrap this up because I can only tolerate so much of these boule bozos and buck broken brain dead babblers. But yeah, this whole segment, you haven't heard anything. They're not even requesting a tangible thing. All they're saying is vote, 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 vote. Okay, what the flip am I getting for my vote?
Our Supreme Court is willing to throw everything in the balance. So
Can I tell you, Angela, you preach. We need.
And John, shout out to Tutneys. I think Tutneys is asking for the link to your live stream. So if you could just go ahead and drop that. And yeah, so I'll be shutting this down in the next 15, 20 minutes. I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, especially on this late evening. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. And Johnson Different has shared this link, so go over, support the brother. Obviously, after this stream, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that whenever he goes live, you can tune in and be a part of the greatness. Let's get back into this video, and I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit just because kind of tired of these tap dancers.
Shit, more than 130 plus years of that entrenched history.
Yeah.
Of having individuals who don't believe in the very essence of what this country should be still running government today.
I think it predates them. If, for instance, Americans don't want to reckon with the fact that we didn't allow all people to vote. We allowed white men who were landowners to vote. And guess what else? They did not have to be citizens of the United States of America to vote. That has not always been a condition of voting in federal elections or local elections in the United States.
Here we go with more of the fear mongering and stuff. And this is all they talking about. Voting, voting, voting. No voting, no vucking. Okay, we get it, bruh. We get it, right? So let me see if y'all can see this. Let me see. So y'all see what I have pulled up here. Does voting, let me pull this down. Does voting solve most or all of our problems? Let's go into it. The expert consensus is no. Voting is necessary, but not sufficient. Necessary, but not sufficient. Political scientists and psychologists note that roughly half of eligible adults choose not to vote. So half of the country doesn't even vote, right? And it's the same thing with all demographics. Half of the Black community doesn't vote. So when you hear like 92% of the Black community voted for Democrats or 80%, 90%, yeah, that's 90% of the Democrats that actually voted. But there's 50% of the entire population that didn't vote. So the numbers are skewed because when they say 92% of the Black community, you think that the entire collective of eligible Black American voters voted. But no, it was a segment, usually older voters, that overwhelmingly vote. Right? So half of the eligible adults choose not to vote, and the inequality of political voices manifest in self-perpetuating relationship between socioeconomic status and political participation. The structural gap means elections alone cannot fully reflect the will of entire communities. While you can use it as a strategy and a tool for advancement of your agenda, it's wholly insufficient. Economists at the Washington Center for Equitable Growth argue plainly that a healthy economy requires a healthy democracy, but in both spheres, flowery rhetoric, around equality is belied by systemic obstructions from biased and crumbling institutions. From the right and center, many political theorists argue that voting is the most peaceful, legitimate tool for change, and that low turnout reflects personal choice rather than systemic failure. from left scholars argue the system itself produces unequal outcomes regardless of participation rates. Both sides tend to agree that voting alone cannot address deep structural issues like housing, wages, health, or education. It is one lever among many, right? So these are ways to build power when your vote is diminished, disenfranchised, disrespected, and dejected, right? Do grassroots organizing and base building. Many people are babbling, less babbling, more building, right? Economic democracy. I know Roger Meadows talks about this a lot. Worker cooperatives, local ownership. Experts define economic power as keeping revenue and resources circulating locally rather than flowing toward extractive multinational corporations, while social power builds trust and solidarity for sustained collective action. Worker-owned cooperatives, community land trusts, and credit unions are concrete mechanisms. So what we're talking about is people have said, hey, look, F the blacks. We're tired of those niggers. We're moving on to the other minorities, the POCs. So this is how you operate from a paradigm of disenfranchisement and people just trying to completely bury you, right? You have to abstain from some of these institutions, cultural norms, traditions, and practices and build anew. And some of these things you don't have to renew or rewrite the wheel. It's just you got to be consistent and persistent, right? Mutual aid, and salute to my girl Sabby Sabs, JB, myself, and other people who are consistently putting in that work for mutual aid. Mutual aid networks, movements like Occupy, argue that building networks of radically democratic cooperative institutions can sustain communities. Helps you organize a base to win fights with the state and private sector, and it will begin eroding public support for dysfunctional systems. So these systems are rotting from the inside out, but you need someone that is going to be a prolific and charismatic messenger to be able to, bestow the message and get it ingrained and entrenched in their minds, right? Kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it, right? I can give you the blueprint, but I can't help you construct it, right? So researchers emphasize that much of the most important structural change is not visible as an election outcome. Transforming the underlying terrain upon which policy debates play out involves shifts in power relationships, shifts in what is politically possible, and shifts in the narrative. So it's all like how people are like, oh, well, I'm against reparations. Well, that's just a narrative. When I lay out that how you've supported reparations for other groups and all this other stuff, you change the narrative to point out people's hypocrisy. And some people are just still going to be contrarian towards the narrative just because it's towards a demographic that they hate. But if they are morally consistent and righteous, then, most of these facts presented will be irrefutable, right? Direct policy advocacy and litigation. So you have an agenda of policies that you want to see passed that are already on the books. You can have lawmakers write you laws. You can use AI to write a law. If there's some flaws in it, then, the lawmakers, the city council, the public officials, they will be able to point out the flaws. You can work with legal counsel to help point out the flaws, but put forward direct democracy in things that you want to see that is going to give your community some level of electoral power. So participatory budgeting and local governance, right? So, having your policing your communities with like community watch groups and things like that, a way to have to hold your community accountable, to skill share, to ensure that you are protecting the interest of one another, right? The most important resource is the human resource, right? So these are just a few ways that we could come together and enact power, engage in powerful group economic and politics while being politically disenfranchised, right? And like Roger says, public banks. Now that I was just giving, just a preface or a prelude to the discussion, but I will get in much deeper on another one. It looks like we've been joined by the 504 boy. Oh, the New Orleans family in the building. And like he said, that no voting, no fucking campaign was super disrespectful. Yes, it was. But that's what the Democrats think about you. Both parties hate you, but the Democrats hate you even more. See, the Republicans, they wear it like a badge of honor how much they hate you. But the Democrats will say, no, we love you. We love you, Jamal and Daquan. I have a black friend. I have a black friend named Benjamin Buttons. You know what I mean? And I love black people, and then you turn around and they work to actively undermine you. Which one is worse, right? At least the Republicans are not pretending to like you. They said, no, we don't like you niggas. And the Democrats are saying, no, we love you, my sweet mahogany. And then they turn around and call you a nigger. Which one is worse, right? The wolf and the fox analogy. You see the wolf with their eyes glowing, their fangs drooling and piercing. But the cute, cuddly fox, you think, oh, this fox could be a pet. You take that pet fox home and it mauls you and you meet your demise. And it looks like Last Call. Shout out to Last Call, Mr. Midnight Soul himself. Last Call in the building. Salute to the brothers and sisters. And I'm about to get ready to shut her down. So you came as I'm winding it. The SCOTUS can just call it, though. What exactly are you referring to, Zalipa? Hakeem Jeffries is worse. Yeah, I would agree. Hakeem Jeffries is worse than Jared Kushner. He's worse than Don Trump, right? Donald Trump Jr. Like, I already know Donald Trump Jr. is a bigot and a stooge, but Hakeem Jeffries, he's supposed to be a yo part of the community. He's like us, but no, he's a corporate tool and shield for Israel. But this is the time where I'm about to wind it down. It's been a fruitful stream. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. So I probably only got about like 10 minutes left. I'm going to play some visuals. Hopefully y'all stick around to the end of the stream. And you know what? It will not cost you a fee. The likes are free. So if you haven't liked the stream yet, please take the time and this moment to hit the like button. And if me giving that friendly request was not enough, here's another friendly reminder. Time for a like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed. Okay, thank you. So like I said, it won't cost you a fee. The likes are free, and you do got to hit that replay. So salute to all of the people watching this live concurrently and that will be viewing this on the replay. And Braxton says, even if they're a person there with you as black, you have to be mindful because that black person could be another tether. Yes, and this is why we are delineating all skin folk and kinfolk. It's a lot of homegrown Sambos and raccoons, and there's a lot of foreign tethers who are trying to infiltrate. All of them are working to undermine us. So let me play some of these visuals. Hopefully y'all stick around to the end. Enjoy the tunes, my friend.
That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude. B-Eazy that dude,
He's styling and profiling, fresher than a mannequin.
Hey, yo, who's that? Mama, there go that man again.
He the one who get the block booming and make the trap move. I'm still trying to figure out who is that dude.
Oh, you ain't know.
That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude, so you gotta let him cook. He be going dumb off the hook, got all them haters shook. He a king, you a rook, so don't never start tripping, get it twisted or mistook.
B-Eazy, B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. That dude, B-Eazy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. B-Eazy, 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 he is that dude. It's plain and obvious. A certified professional, ain't never been a hobbyist. He is one of the nicest, realest, coldest, and dopest, so you should take notice. Woo! That dude, B-Eazy, that dude, that dude, B-Eazy, that dude. Show love and support to B-Eazy, that dude.
B-Eazy, B-Eazy. Ooh.
Yeah, look at him now. Came up from the mud, now there ain't no dirt under his shoes.
No dirt under his shoes.
Ascended to the top, yeah, he's really that dude.
He's really that dude.
He's really that dude.
Ascended to the top, he's really that dude.
Really, really,
really that dude. Ay, yo. B-Eazy is that dude. You already know, for sure, you already know. It's easy to see why he is that dude. He's been a favorite, even if you hating it. Give him his flowers, pay him respect. He's a certified legend and one of the best. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, remember the name.
B-Eazy that dude.
Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy that dude, Shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. There's a lot of niggas that say they real. To me, that shit is far-fetched. Them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I ride up on them with the 40 ounces. The definition of adrenaline rush. What he do is sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like Willow Pass. Grew about on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pass. These birds that I roll with, outcasts and misfits. Better zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flat line in your pit. Tribe habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku for the cocaine to go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racket and fly back out to Millwall. When they get me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hit these flows, I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit
got B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Big got B-Eazy that dude.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Follow. Be easy. You know you want to.
We're waiting.
If you feel the vibe, like, share, and subscribe. We growing on this journey. Come and take a ride. If you wanna slide with that dude, be easy. We going